Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today we are getting into a spooky book haul. Not all of these books are spooky, but I did purchase them all in the last few months, which has been the lead up to spooky season, so there are quite a few. I don't think there's going to be a ton of romance, fantasy, things like that. There's mostly thrillers and horror, and I cannot wait to show you guys all the books that I've been picking up recently. I went to a couple of my favorite indie bookstores. I also got sent a lot of exciting early copies of stuff. Book shopping is just my self-care. It is how I take care of myself. My library, my endless TBR to choose from feeds my soul. It is my dream that I've had since I was a little girl and I was watching Beauty and the Beast, just wanting to be Belle so bad. So it feeds a very special part of me to be making this video today. And I also want to tell you about another one of my current obsessions that is definitely feeding a part of me, many parts of me. I have talked about them before, and that is Beducated. If you are unfamiliar with Beducated, they have over 100 courses on sex education, self-pleasure, relationships, etc. And if you're talking self-care, like, this is the place for it. And it's not just random information. All of their courses are taught by people who are experts in their field. It is truly top of the line sex ed, but it goes so far beyond that. As an owner of a vulva myself, I know how complicated it can be to be a woman in the world, or just any person with a vulva in the world, and be trying to navigate all of the confusing messages, misogyny, homophobia, etc. around sex. I love the way that Beducated helps me learn about my body without any shame. There's a lot of shame in a lot of places where we traditionally learn about sex, and I'm thinking about where I learned about sex growing up, like in the church and in school and in health class. There's no celebration of pleasure, but that is definitely easily found on Beducated. As you can see, there are a ton of courses on pleasure. Like, look at these courses on the female orgasm, on G-spot bliss, on squirting. Girl, if you want to learn a new trick, Beducated is the place to do it. And I'm sure y'all probably know, I just talked about it in my last vlog, that I am dating, and your girl's been out of the dating game for a minute. So I am really enjoying using Beducated as I ease back in and learn about how to assert myself and be confident in the bedroom with new partners. So it's not just about pleasure, it's also about the emotional piece as well, and that's why I call it self-care. It just feeds my soul, it helps me feel more confident. It's truly the best. So if you want to try out Beducated, you can use my link down below and get a yearly pass for 50% off. You will get access to every single expert-backed course for an entire year, and it's half price with my code, which is just my name, Hailey Hughes. And if you try it out and you end up not loving it, don't worry, it's risk-free. There is a 14-day money-back guarantee, which is so nice of them. So thank you so much to Beducated for sponsoring this little book haul here and for just doing what they do. And now let's go ahead and get into the books. I will start out with the one book that I picked up in Greece when I was traveling through Greece in early August. I popped into a few bookstores. There was a lot of books in Greek, as you can imagine, but I knew that I wanted some kind of bookish souvenir in English, and I ended up finding this one in Athens. This is Being Queer Like the Ancients, which, hello, this is so up my alley, and this was literally 13 euros, the best souvenir ever. It's obviously nonfiction, and it goes through how queerness can date back all the way to ancient Greece, and how it's not just something that your wild 19-year-old niece is choosing to do. Like, this shit has been around for a while. Queer people, we have existed since the ancient times. It just feels like this is going to be affirming and a really like me style souvenir from my trip in Greece. I love it. I haven't read it yet, but I read through a couple like little pages and parts on the plane. I need to actually sit down and read all the way through it, but it's mostly a keepsake because I'm a bookish girl. It makes sense. Next up, I did take a trip to Barnes & Noble when they did their like big book haul book sale a couple months ago. I don't remember what the deal was, and I actually remember going and thinking, this is bullshit, like the deals really were not that good. But I did still pick a couple things up that I wanted. I specifically went for this one and another book, so I'll show you those first. This is a new series by Catherine Mieke, who wrote the American Royal series. I freaking love that, which is so weird to me because when do I ever love like a YA fantasy romance? Never. But something about American Royals just really got me and sucked me in. I read the entire series and was obsessed with it. So this is the new series from the same author, A Queen's Game. And I actually got this for 50% off in the sale, so I do think that was worth it. So this is a like historical feeling modern royal romance. It says, in the last glittering decade of empires, courts, and kings, 3 young women are on a collision course with history and with each other. So first we're following Queen Victoria's granddaughter, who is expecting to end up with a prince, but the prince that she's falling for is not the one she's supposed to marry. We're also following the exiled daughter of the King of France, who is like a rebel and a rule breaker, and she is running around with the charming and very much off limits Prince Eddie. I don't know where he's from, but I already like that he's named Eddie. And then there's another girl who kind of seems like a social climber. She's lived on the fringes of royalty her entire life, and she's got her heart set on marrying a prince as well. Not just any prince, but the future king. And that character description of her specifically reminds me so much of Daphne from the American Royal series, which I loved her so much. She was my favorite of all the characters by far. She was just kind of bitchy and kind of a social climber and kind of hateable, but she had such a real like genuineness about her that I found myself rooting for her, which was so weird because usually I would hate a character like that. But I just thought Catherine Mieke developed her character so well, and I'm excited to see something similar in this series. I am not typically like reading this. I don't know. This is like my one little foray outside of the horror was this stuff at the top here. And the other book that I went to go get for 50% off, and then it actually wasn't 50% off, but I needed it anyway because it's a follow-up to one of my favorites from earlier this year. That is The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. I freaking love the green sprayed edges of this. It's pretty as hell. I absolutely loved The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. It's like a cozy fantasy, has a little bit of light romance, but it's mostly about a girl fleeing. The library is on fire. She looked over all the spell books, and so she like has to flee from the fire and save as many spell books as she can. She moves back home and spells are actually outlawed, so she has to hide all the spell books that she smuggled in, and she ends up running this like underground spell shop. It's adorable. I freaking love that book. I highly recommend it, especially for fall and winter. Like the upcoming season is perfect for reading cozy fantasy, so I'm excited to get into the sequel. I don't know exactly what we're going to be following. I don't want to read it because I don't want to be spoiled in any way, but obviously it's going to be a continuation of the series and I'm looking forward to it. And then I actually picked up on the same Barnes trip another copy of my favorite book. I believe that this is the 4th copy that I own of my favorite book, and I feel that I do have to justify that because that is ridiculous. If you've been watching my channel, you know I do not buy myself special editions. I don't buy myself first editions. I don't buy myself signed editions. I don't care about special editions. Like, I do not care. I do not spend my money on that. I literally think it's such a waste of money and just like paper to be printed. I don't need a bunch of copies of the same book. However, people in my life that know that I like books like to gift me those kind of copies. So I had my original copy of Pretty Girls that I read, and then one of my best friends gifted me a signed first edition, and then I had another friend give me a paperback copy, and then I found this. And it has all of my favorite things, okay? So this is a copy of Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter, my favorite book of all time. It's matte, okay? So it's different from the other paperback, and I actually already have that other paperback sitting on my counter that I'm going to give to somebody else because I don't need 2 paperbacks. I know. I just couldn't walk away from this one. I had tears in my eyes when I saw it. I know that sounds like insane, but I love a matte paperback, and look at these sprayed edges. Are you kidding me? Sisters, strangers, survivors? I'm sorry, the meaning. I can't. I actually can't. This is my favorite book of all time. If you're watching my channel and you have not read Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter yet, what are you doing? This is your assigned reading. Go do it tonight. I guarantee you, you will start this thriller and not be able to put it down until you're finished because it is that good. The emotional connection and the character development in this book is unmatched by pretty much any thriller that I've ever read. It is very dark. It is very intense. It's a story of 3 sisters, one of which who went missing years and years ago, and now the 2 sisters in modern day are getting more information about their youngest sister's disappearance. They're putting the pieces together in real time. It is heart pumping. It is twisty. It is insanely dark, but it is so beautifully done. So good. I love it. I couldn't walk away from this perfect paperback, and I kind of want to keep it pristine, but another part of me wants to do my Hailey thing and like annotate it and break the spine and rip it to shreds and just like love it. So who knows? Stay tuned to see what I do with this girl. And the last thing that I picked up from Barnes & Noble on that trip was Breathe In, Bleed Out by Brian McCauley. And the cover obviously sucked me in because hello, this looks like something that I would love. But also, as soon as I saw this title, Breathe In, Bleed Out, all I could think of was that fuck ass song. And I could not remember the name of it for so long. Oh my god, and I can't remember it now, but it's like, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Please, someone has to know what I'm talking about. It's by the same horrid early 2000s dad rock band that did that song like Glycerine. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. That's the first thing that I thought of when I saw this book, and I was like, I like that song. It's a guilty pleasure. I like this cover. It's horror. Brian, if you can nail the synopsis, it's going in the cart. And it went in the cart because it's blurbed by Liz Kieran and Nat Cassidy, and I've given multiple of their books 5 stars. And it's about a girl who is haunted by her fiance, and when her friend group gets an exclusive invitation to a spiritual retreat in Joshua Tree, she wants to go to try to get a fresh start and hopefully exorcise herself from being haunted by this horrible man. So she's like healing through yoga and hot springs and all the things, but this peaceful journey of self-discovery quickly descends into a violent fight for self-preservation when a killer starts picking off all the retreat attendees in gruesome ways. So it's like wellness commentary, but also a slasher, and also there's like being haunted by an ex. Like this is so relatable to me. That could be a sleeper pick for like a last minute Hailey-ween situation. If you're not familiar with Happy Hailey-ween or Hailey-ween as it's just being referred to across the internet, obviously my name's Hailey and I love Halloween. I'm hosting a Halloween readathon for the week leading up to Halloween where there's 5 prompts and you pick a bunch of books to read. You can do 1 book that fits all 5 prompts. You can do 5 books. I literally don't care. You can do whatever you want. And it's going to be hosted on my channel and on my Patreon the last week of October. So make sure if you want to participate that you build your TBR. If you want to buddy read with me, I might be reading Breathe In, Bleed Out. So, yay. The next few books here I just kind of picked up in random places along the way. I honestly don't know where they came from, but the first one is my October book club pick, so it's pretty important that I have that. And that is Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. Obviously, I host my Pretty Girl book club over on Patreon. If you want to check it out, it's always linked down below. And like I mentioned earlier, there will be a lot of Hailey-ween stuff happening on Patreon this month. So if you want to join at some point, try it out. This month would be the month to do it. In Too Old for This, we are following a grandma who is a serial killer. And I fucking love that. I'm actually obsessed with that, and I cannot wait to read this and discuss it with the girls in the Pretty Girl Book Club. This is another new release thriller that I really wanted to get my hands on, and that is In Deadly Company by L.S. Stratton. I have loved every single L.S. Stratton book that I've read. I mean, I've read 2 because it's the 2 thrillers that she has out. Not So Perfect Strangers and Do What Godmother Says. I gave both of those 5 stars. They were phenomenal. This is her 3rd one. And this is about a girl who is like a personal assistant to a very, very powerful like Fortune 500 company owner. And a murder mystery situation happens where they are killed at this event and she lives through it. So the story is not about the like locked door mystery murder thing. It's actually taking place in the aftermath of that, where now someone in Hollywood wants to make a movie based on this horrible murder, and because she witnessed it, they want her to be a part of it, but her guilt is still in question. So she's dealing with putting together the pieces of what actually happened. The reader's questioning if she was maybe a part of it. And there are the dynamics of like the ethics of, I think like billionaires are going to be touched on in this. It talks about like inappropriate casting choices, bizarre script changes. I can imagine, because Ella Stratton has talked a lot about like being a black woman in different situations. In Not So Perfect Strangers, it was like being a black woman in an abusive relationship, and in Do What Godmother Says, it was like being a black woman in the art scene, specifically in the Harlem Renaissance as well. So I can imagine like being a black woman in a Fortune 500 company or in Hollywood is a very difficult thing, obviously, and I'm looking forward to commentary on that and another killer thriller by her. Like, I'm just eating up her books. And then I got this black sprayed edge edition of Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. I actually did not seek this out. I believe that this was sent to me. I believe that this just like showed up at my door one day. Yeah, it actually was sent by the publisher. And this is a new fantasy book from Rebecca Ross. I have not read from her before, so I don't know anything about her writing. I don't know if I will enjoy it because I haven't read from her before. Now is about to be fantasy season, like going into November, December, January. I feel like that is the time for reading fantasy. So if I'm gonna get into fantasy, it's gonna be here soon. I think it's like a romantic fantasy about gods and goddesses, but there's a mortal who is dreaming of this one goddess and they've never met. Oh, so she's gonna get involved with a mortal that she's fated to find beyond dreams. Wait, if the reviews of this are good, I can very much see myself getting into this. So thank you to the publisher, I guess Saturday Books, for sending this my way. We will see what I think. Next up, I have some Book of the Month picks to share with you. Obviously, I'm subscribed to the Book of the Month box that comes every single month. So these are some recent picks. I got Forget Me Not by Stacey Willingham. I believe that this might have been an add-on because I haven't read it yet. And I've been mixed on Stacey Willingham thrillers in the past, but I saw this one getting good reviews, so I wanted to pick it up. This is about a girl who loses her sister. She is brutally murdered. Blood is found, a body is found, a man is arrested. It's obviously so hard for her, but it's a closed case. So she ends up going to work on this like vineyard, and while she's at the vineyard, she uncovers this diary and she hyperfixates on this diary. She gets obsessed with it and she starts believing that there are clues to something different happening to her sister that are being revealed by this diary. So she's trying to figure out if the person who was arrested was actually her sister's killer or if we're gonna reveal something else. This vineyard has a storied past, so she gets obsessed with that. Or maybe she's just crazy. Maybe she's paranoid. You know, that's like the real question at the heart of every thriller is a woman crazy? And the answer is always no. The answer is always nobody fucking believes her, but she's real as hell. So I would love to have the satisfaction of reading that ending. And then I also picked up Discontent by Beatrice Serrano. This is more of like a lit fic, like commentary laden book. It's also very, very, very short. I don't know if y'all can tell, this is like the skinniest book ever. It's like only 150 some pages. And it talks about living a life that on the surface looks perfect and enviable, like having a beautiful apartment in Madrid, a hot neighbor to sleep with and a successful job at an advertising agency, but really she's hiding her existential dread behind it all. She hates her job, she hates her coworkers, she is just getting high and numbing out most of the time, going into that dissonance between the image of her life and the experience of her life. I feel like this is such a common thing with like social media and like putting yourself out there. Like obviously there's a lot more to that dissonance than just wanting to show an image, right? And I think that I'm gonna relate to that. I obviously show some of my life on the internet, and people think that based on that they know everything about me, and that's just simply not true. And I hope that that is touched on in here. I think it will feel really validating for me. Next up, I want to get into a stack of books that I picked up from a local indie. I had actually never been to this indie bookstore. I'd never heard of it, and I was driving around with my friend and we saw a bumper sticker that like said something books, and we were like, is that a local bookstore? Like, is that a bookstore here? And so she looked it up and she was like, yeah, it's like 2 miles away. So we went, and I ended up getting some books there, and they were books that I was highly anticipating, so I'm really excited about them. First up, I have The Locked Ward by Sarah Pekkanen. We don't know what happened to Greer Hendricks. I keep saying this. What happened to her? I don't know. I want to know. I want the tea. I'll probably never know. But Miss Sarah Pekkanen came out with a book this year. We are following the crime of the decade, okay? Georgia Cartwright. She is glamorous, and she is accused of killing the biological daughter of her wealthy Southern family. She was the adopted daughter. She allegedly killed the biological daughter of her parents, so her sibling. And now she's locked in a psychiatric institution for violent offenders. The only words that she whispers are, I didn't do it, and you've got to get me out of here. Did she do it? I don't know. I want to find out. I'm obsessed. And then I have the new release from Tasha Coriel, who wrote Love Letters to Serial Killers, which I fucking love that book. And this seems like another darkly funny exploration of horror and disgusting things, and also love and romanticism, and like that is my favorite thing ever. This is matchmaking for psychopaths. I think my ex needs this book because he is in fact a psychopath. I think this would really serve him well. He needs someone who can find him a fellow psychopath, because my soft heart was not cut out for whatever situation was going on there. It says, love is a dangerous game when your clients are killers. So we are following a woman who is matchmaking psychopaths with each other, but her clients are blissfully unaware that she's doing this. They're just like, oh, I'm a normal person, I want to go to a matchmaker. And she only accepts clients that are psychopaths so she can match them up with each other and avoid other people getting hurt because of what she's gone through in her past. I think I need to read this like immediately. Actually, I'm about to go on a little solo trip, and I know that I'm going to be reading a ton. I'm going to go to the Pacific Northwest for the first time to see like actual real fall and experience the weather and like read there. And I just picture myself reading outside every single day and reading in cute cafes while it's like raining. I think this is coming with me because I gotta read it immediately. I got another new release at this bookstore, Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. This takes place on Halloween, so if you're looking for a happy Halloween book that takes place on Halloween, this is a new release that's getting great reviews that fits that prompt. This is about a girl. There was an attempt made on her life, and she's sitting in the hospital basically dying, and she has the time from now till her death, because she's like slowly dying, to solve what happened to her on this Halloween night where someone tried to kill her. That sounds incredible to me. I cannot wait to get into it. Also, that is Holly Jackson's first adult book. I've really loved her young adult books, so I'm really excited to see her writing in an adult context. I hope that it will carry over. And the last thing that I picked up at this indie bookstore is another new release I could not walk away from. It's the new Gretchen Felker Martin. It is a horror novella, teeny tiny little girl, called Black Flame. And hello, look at this cover, I'm obsessed. It's about a cursed film. I love a cursed film. I love a cursed horror movie with a cult following, and that is The Baroness. Okay, it's an infamous exploitation film, long thought destroyed and discovered 50 years later. When Ellen Kramer, who is deeply closeted and pathologically repressed, begins restoring this hedonistic movie, it unspools dark desires from deep within her. Yeah. I think I'm taking this on my trip as well. You're coming with me to Seattle, queen. Next up, I have a huge stack of books that were sent to me. I don't even know how these publishers get in my address. Maybe my manager's just like putting in hours. Thank you, queen. I have a lot of arcs to show you, so let's get into it. The first one is a memoir by Allison Stoner. We all know her and love her as the DJ from Camp Rock. Like, what a queen. She has come out with a memoir, Semi Well-Adjusted, and I would love to hear about like a Disney star who is semi-well-adjusted, because you know we've only heard the horror stories, and it would be nice to hear something that's not so bleak. So I'm excited to hear her story. Obviously, I loved Jeanette McCurdy's memoir that came out a few years ago, so I'm hoping that this one is gonna hit similarly for me. I also got a book of the month copy of Play Nice by Rachel Harrison, which is so wonderful because this is one of my favorite books that I've read so far this year. It is phenomenal. It is perfect. It's about a girl who has lost her mother, and she goes back to her allegedly possessed childhood home to try to figure out if her mother was batshit insane or if there's some merit to the book that she wrote about their allegedly possessed house. It is so much more than that plot line, though. I feel like there are so many books similar to that, like Home Before Dark and How to Sell a Haunted House. This one stands out because of the character development and the relatability of the main character. She is so different than any other character in any other haunted house novel. She is completely with it. Like, she feels real. She's not like one of those people who are jumping at bumps in the night. Like, she is a very real person. She learns so much about herself over the course of the book. It is genuinely creepy and scary. I love it so much. I love Rachel Harrison so much. I'm so glad that this was a book of the month pick, and I'm so glad that they sent it to me because I love this book. I love it so much. Everyone should read it. I feel like this is kind of the unofficial group book of Halloween because everyone seems to be adding it to their TBR, which, by the way, if you haven't shared your TBR with me, please do that. I would love to see your TBRs on Instagram. Tag me. Minotaur Books also sent me a finished copy of No Rest for the Wicked by Rachel Louise Adams. I freaking love this cover. The black cats are so cute. However, unfortunately, I didn't love this book. It kind of lacked fluency to me. It was very confused and all over the place. It's just like a cozy mystery set in a Halloween-y kind of town. And it was cute enough, but it just wasn't intriguing and tight enough plot and structure wise for me to fully enjoy it. So it did drag a lot for me. I will definitely be putting this in a little free library in my neighborhood. This is super exciting though. I got a new copy of the new cover of The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. Obviously this came out forever ago, but they have a new cover for the movie, which I'm so excited to watch on Netflix. They sent me this cute little like movie watching box to go along with the book, and I'm so excited to eat my little popcorn that they sent me while I'm watching it on my projector in my movie room. Like, that is gonna be the moment for me. And also I'm so excited to have a copy of this book because when I was a broke college student, as soon as I finished a book, I would literally sell it back to Half Price Books so I could get some money to buy my next book. And Woman in Cabin 10 was one of the books that I got rid of because I needed money in college to buy more books. So I never had a copy of it, and I was like, I've already read it, there's no point in buying a new one. But now I have one, and it's the cover with Keira Knightley, and I'm so excited. I really want to watch the movie. I love the book. I gave it 5 stars. This is one of the thrillers that got me back into reading, so yay for that. And if you've watched the movie, let's gab about it in the comments because I'm sure I would have watched it by now. I also got an arc of the new Jessie Garcia book, The Fair-Weathered Friend, which is super exciting because I loved The Business Trip, okay? I read The Business Trip by Jessie Garcia earlier this year and was blown away. I could not put it down. It was on KU and I just like stayed up all night reading it because I could not stop. It was that good. So this is her new one that comes out in January 2026. It's a multi-POV rapid fire thriller. We are following a TV meteorologist, endearingly referred to as the fair weather friend by her viewers, and one night she leaves work on a dinner break and never returns. her body is found the next morning. The town is reeling, suspects emerge, and long-buried secrets are uncovered. While her allies rally for her, her list of adversaries also grows. The deeper the investigation goes, the more the storm builds, dragging everyone into the eye of their own unraveling. Yeah. I will definitely be putting this in a new release thriller vlog so soon, so you guys can get the tea before it comes out. And then these next 3 that were sent to me got featured in the Box of Stories horror box that they kindly sent to me a couple months ago. I already read one of them. It was Graveyard Shift by ML Rio. I know people didn't like that book, but I really did. Like, genuinely, I love a book that is just like literary horror gothic vibes. No plot, just vibes. So I really love that one. They included that in the box, but they also included these 3 that I'm super excited to get into because I would have bought them regardless, specifically Horseman by Christina Henry. It's the story of like the Headless Horseman, but updated. It says, everyone in Sleepy Hollow knows about the alleged horseman. No one really believes in him though. It's just a legend to get the village gossips talking. But more than 30 years after those storied events, the village is a quiet place, and 14-year-old Ben loves to play Sleepy Hollow Boys, reenacting the events of the past. Until Ben and his friend stumble across the headless body of a child and makes Ben question everything the adults in Sleepy Hollow have ever told him. Could the horseman possibly be real after all? This sounds so good and so October Halloween-y. Ooh, this might have to come on my trip with me as well. That sounds so good. I also have Beware the Woman by Megan Abbott. I've actually never read a thriller by Megan Abbott before, so this would be my first from her. And this is like a Jane Eyre-esque feeling thriller. Like, this woman thinks that she gets exactly what she wants, like perfect house, perfect husband, and then she falls ill and the housekeeper's being weird, and I think maybe the housekeeper might have something to do with the illness, okay? And then she wakes up like shackled to the bed, and I don't know if the husband's keeping her or if the housekeeper is keeping her, but something is happening to this woman. The perfect life that she thought she had is not as it seems. Interested to see where it goes. The last one that was sent to me was The Haunting of Payne's Hollow by Kelly Armstrong, and I've heard great things about this author, so I'm excited to get into it. It actually comes out this month, so it'd be perfect reading for this month. It's a supernatural horror about a haunted lakeside property and twisted family secrets. This girl gets left a huge lakeside property in her grandfather's will, but the catch is that to get it, she has to stay in the cottage for a month. So it can't just be like, oh, this is inherited now, let me sell it and become a millionaire. No. She has to actually stay there. And it's haunted all hell. Next up, I just have some random pickups. I think a couple of these were from Target, random little stores that I was like, oh, that's a book that I want. This is one that was getting talked about in my Discord a lot on Patreon. I saw a ton of people reading it, putting it on their Halloween TBRs, and I just read and loved Grave Shift by ML Rio, so I needed to pick up Hot Wax by ML Rio as well. I freaking love that this looks like a record. Like, I love the design of this book. Also, yeah, put your fucking self in a big picture on the back of your book like Stephen King in the 90s. I support this. And this is a full-length novel from her, so I'm really excited. It takes place in 1989. 10-year-old Suzanne is drawn like a magnet to her father's forbidden world of electric guitars and tricked-out cars. When her mother remarries, she jumps at the chance to tag along on a concert tour that just might be Gil and the Kills' Ride to Glory. But fame has sharper fangs than anybody realized, and as the band blazes up the charts, internal power struggles set Gil and his group on a collision course destined for bloody reckoning. The only witness to a desperate act of violence that takes place in the group is young Suzanne, and so she spends the next 29 years trying to disappear. She's trying to escape to the suburbs and no longer be a part of this magical mystical, ooh, Benson Boone alert, this magical mystical music world that she once longed to be a part of. I love horror books that involve the rock and roll scene, so I'm desperate to read this one. This is one that I've been wanting for so long, and I remembered that I bought it at Target because I freaking walked by it with a cart full of groceries and I was like, you're fucking coming home with me, fine, I'll buy it, I'll get it. It's October, why not? And that is Diavola, okay, by Jennifer Thorne. I've heard a million things about this book. It's apparently this like perfect gothic story. I want to get into it. It's been called Wickedly Funny, and it's a gothic story that takes place on vacation. A mom goes on vacation with her family. There's a lot of weird dynamics as they're staying in this remote villa, but things start going off the rails. Strange noises in the night, unsettling warnings, dark violent pasts. It's all gonna come to a head. It's gonna be gothic as fuck. I might take this one on my trip too. I'm gonna be taking, at this point, 5 books for 5 days, which is a little excessive. But like, I'm literally gonna go there to just like hang out in the fall atmosphere and read, so it's kind of gonna be perfect when you think about it. My last little random pickup that I have is Whistle by Linwood Barclay. This was also a recommendation that I got from my Patreon. The girls stay recommending me good books. And this is kind of giving me Hidden Pictures vibes, where this mother has had kind of a rough year. And so she moves her and her son to this remote place. And in this new house that they move into, there's this ancient toy train set. And the son gets obsessed with the train set, but the train set is creepy. Way creepier than the little boy realizes. And the mom is like hearing the whistle in the night, and she's kind of like haunted by it. It's kind of giving me a combination of Hidden Pictures and Cold Snap by Lindy Ryan, and I liked both of those, so I'm hoping that I'll like this. Next up, I have my book of the month picks from October, from this month, and I was so excited that this was a pick. This is Told You So by Macy Neely. It is Macy Neely's memoir all about her life and the things that she's been through. If you don't know who Macy Neely is, she's on The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and I am obsessed with that show. I'm obsessed with Macy. She's probably my favorite woman in the cast, and I loved reading her story. Spoiler alert, I've already read this book. I read it literally the day that it came in the mail because I could not wait, and I'm obsessed with it. If you watch Secret Lives, you have to read this book. It sheds so much light on her situation and what she's been through, and I will continue to recommend it. I love it so much. I'll give you like a full review in my October wrap up, but yeah, just so you know, couldn't wait to read that one, had to get it done. And then I also got The 10-Year Affair by Erin Summers, and this is like a literary book about messy ass relationships. Cora and Sam meet at a baby group, and they both start to engage in an affair with each other. They're cheating on their partners, and they're so wrapped up in this affair that intersecting and diverging timelines are blurring the boundaries of reality and fantasy, questioning what might have been and what truly matters. It says it's an emotionally charged exploration of marriage and the roads not taken that ultimately asks, do we really want our fantasies to come true? Interesting. As a divorced girly, I feel like that one's gonna hit a little, maybe a little. And then I saved the last stack of books here for last because this is a stack of books from my favorite indie bookstore in Austin. It is Birdhouse Books. If you're ever in Austin, please, please, please check out Birdhouse Books. They're amazing. They actually just had their first anniversary this past month, and I was so, so excited to go support them. They literally poured up mimosas, and I low-key got a little buzzed just walking around the store. I was like eating a cupcake, drinking mimosas. A man wrote me a poem while I was walking around. I was like, yeah, this is pretty much the best day of my life, and I got so many books because of course I did. We'll start out with an essay collection. You know how I feel about an essay collection about horror, okay? It Came From the Closet is one of my favorite essay collections ever, and this is a similar one. It is Why I Love Horror, Essays on Horror Literature, edited by Becky Siegel Spratford. And this is basically a love letter to horror with essays by a ton of people that you will recognize. Gabino Iglesias, Hailey Piper, Brian Keene, Tananarive Due, Jennifer McMahon, Josh Mallerman, Paul Tremblay, Grady Hendrix, Clay McLeo Chapman, Rachel Harrison, like Stephen Graham Jones. All my faves are here. Yeah, obviously I'm gonna read it this month. Like, I cannot not read this in October. I also got another nonfiction, and that is Communion, The Female Search for Love by Bell Hooks. Girl, the way that All About Love helped me through the ending of my marriage was so profound. I'm like, the end of my last relationship, I need this communion, okay, Belle? Belle might need to help me out a little bit, and I'm hoping that she does because I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need it, Belle. I need specifically the female search for love, okay? We don't need to cater to the men. I literally don't care about men and what they have going on. I've done my part for the male loneliness epidemic because I've been keeping these psycho men in the company of a beautiful woman for years of my life. I'm not doing that anymore, okay? We're actually going on a female search for love, so that's the vibe. I say that as I literally have a Hinge roster. Actually, the roster's on pause for one specific Hinge man, but I'm not holding my breath, okay? Next up, we have Heads Will Roll. Of course. Of course, this is a Hailey ass book. This is about a sitcom star who gets canceled and shipped off to Camp Castaway with a bunch of other canceled celebrities who are connecting with nature, and they get picked off one by one. It's a slasher. I think it's gonna be funny and dark, and I'm gonna just have a wonderful time with it. And then we have Murderland by Carolyn Greenwald, and this is yet another amusement park horror where people are getting picked off one by one by one. It's a bunch of teens. They go to the theme park, bodies stack up. Yeah, I'm gonna live for it. This was like my hyperfixation, was like reading amusement park horror a couple of years ago, and I've been chasing that high ever since. I cannot find one that I love as much as I love the ones when I read them in that era. So I'm hoping that this is gonna do it for me. I also was gifted The Steps by The Store. This is by Wendelin Van Dron, and it's an ARC copy. It's a twisty thriller about a dysfunctional family a la Queen's Gambit. I don't know anything about it. It's just a YA thriller, and the girlies at The Store gifted it to me because I made a big purchase. So thanks to them, and I'm excited to get into this. Getting into our last couple books here that I got from Birdhouse, we have Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. I've been interested in this one for quite a while, and I finally got my hands on it. And this is about a girlie who's been living in the remote moors with her husband for quite a long time, and she feels dissatisfied, but she's like kind of blaming herself. And then she meets Carmilla, and she's like, oh, fuck my husband actually. I think Carmilla could satisfy me. So we're gonna see about Miss Carmilla in this book. And the last book that I picked up that I literally was dying to get, it was the first thing that I put in my little cart. I went specifically for this, We Love You Bunny by Mona Awad. The follow-up to Bunny. Bunny is one of my like OG favorites from when I first started my channel. It was one of the first things that I read that I was so obsessed with that I was recommending everyone, and this is the sequel. The first book was so trippy, fantastic, dark, gothic, weird, amazing. I don't even know what we're in store for. I don't even know what we're in store for the sequel. I have no idea. I don't want to read a blurb. I don't want to read anything. I just want to experience this in the tripped out way that I experienced Bunny. I read Bunny on a gummy in the pool, okay? That is how I would like to read this book. I mean, it's gonna be kind of not pool weather here in a minute, but I can read it outside on the ground. I can just pop a gummy and look at the trees and the stars and the skies and read this. So that's what I'm planning to do. And with that, those are going to be all of the books for this spooky little October book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about them. Let me know down below if you have anything that I should prioritize, if there are any books that you guys specifically want to see me put in a vlog or something. Just tell me, and I live to serve. I will do it. And also don't forget to check out Beducated down below if you want some expert-backed self-care, sex education, hone your pleasure, queen, and get half off of a yearly pass to Beducated with my code Hailey Hughes, linked down below. Also linked down below is the information on Happy Hailey-ween, my readathon, my Patreon, where you can get in on that and join my Pretty Girl Book Club. There's so much down there. Go crazy on it. Also, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And thank you guys so much for watching this video and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. In the meantime, don't forget to read a book and go to therapy this week. Bye!